Hello, friends. Friends. Dean Koontz is a famous author. He lives in America. He writes novels, suspense, thriller, horror, mystery, etc. This story is about one incident from Dean's life. A strange incident that's hard to believe. Friends, Dean was born in a village in the American state of Pennsylvania. There was no interest in reading books in his house. His father was always intoxicated, and because of that, he never taught Dean anything good. He used to say that reading books is a waste of time. He even used to threaten to kill Dean and his mother. Dean's childhood was full of depression, and during that time, he found comfort in books. Reading books changed Dean's life. He started to see and understand the world in a completely new way. In fact, once, when Dean's mother was admitted to a hospital, one of his aunts took care of him. She was the one who told Dean to start reading books. Dean was very young at that time, but those very books transformed his life. Later, this same Dean became one of the most famous authors in the world. His novels became best-selling novels. Even though Dean's father never cared for him or his mother, when Dean became wealthy, he took full care of his father. Anyway, this video is not about Dean's life story. We'll talk about that some other time. This video is about one incident that happened in Dean's life, a mysterious incident that's hard to believe. Friends, this happened after Dean was married. His mother was seriously ill. She had suffered strokes, and her chances of survival were very low. Dean was by her side in the hospital. At that moment, his mother suddenly held his hand and told him, "I want to tell you something about your father. It's very important for you to know this." But friends, at that very moment, Dean's mother passed away. Dean kept wondering what it was that his mother wanted to tell him. Years passed. It was the year 1988. The date was September 20th, 1988. On this day, something happened to Dean that he could never forget. Friends, Dean was in his office. He was working. Suddenly, a call came on his office landline. Dean picked up the phone, and what he heard shocked him. It was a voice that sounded just like his mother's. It felt as if his mother was speaking to him on the phone. But how could that be? His mother was no longer in this world. Friends, that woman said only one sentence. "Please, be careful." And then she went silent. Dean asked who was speaking, but there was no answer. He asked again, and the woman repeated the same sentence. "Please be careful." She said this sentence 3 times. Each time, her voice seemed to get more and more distant. And then, the woman hung up the phone. Dean checked whose number it was, but it was unlisted. He could not find out who had called him. But the voice was exactly like his mother's, a woman who had died years ago. Friends, Dean told his wife about the call. And the strange thing was, the woman was asking him to take care. Please, be careful. But the story doesn't end here. Just 2 days after that call, Dean went to visit his father at a hospital. His father had become mentally ill. He would often become violent and attack people. Dean was sitting beside his father when suddenly, his father pulled a knife out of his pocket. No one knew when he had hidden that knife. Dean's father suddenly attacked him with the knife. The attack was so sudden that Dean barely managed to save himself. A doctor and some nurses were also present there. Dean narrowly escaped. Friends, Dean came home, but that call was still echoing in his mind. The call from 2 days earlier, where a woman with his mother's voice told him, "Please be careful." And just 2 days later, his father attacked him with a knife. Dean couldn't believe what had just happened, and he never found out who made that call. Friends, for 10 years, Dean didn't mention this incident to anyone except his wife. But in 1993, he included this incident in one of his novels. The novel's name was Mr. Murder. At the time, no one knew that this event had actually happened in Dean's real life. Dean has never been able to figure out who made that call. Look, it's also possible that Dean experienced a hallucination, that he never received any call, but felt like he did. He spent most of his time writing such novels, so it's possible that this caused him to imagine such a thing. But the truth, only Allah knows.